Hello everyone, this is Michael Hartman, president and founder of Frog Dice. I'm also the original creator of Threshold. I'm making this video today to show you how to jump right into Threshold, make a character, and kind of get started. Threshold is unique in that it is roleplay required. In fact, it is the oldest commercial roleplay required game on the internet. Now, a lot of people get intimidated by required roleplay and think you have to be a Shakespearean actor or something to do it. You shouldn't be worried at all. Roleplay just means in the game you have to stay in character, you have to roleplay your character, kind of think about his background a little bit, and then over time maybe you get more and more into it. Some people love it right off the bat, some people kind of lurk in the background until they really hit their stride as their character, and any way you want to do that is fine. Our community is very forgiving, very helpful, loves to help people kind of build their new stories because that's what makes the game interesting to them. We have countless players that have played for over a decade, and the thing that they enjoy the most is new players bringing new stories to the game. So I'm going to go ahead and connect. I'm going to use the browser-based client that we have right on our website. It is the address for that is play.thresholdrpg.com, or you can just visit our website www.thresholdrpg.com and find a link. So I'm going to go ahead and connect. Now, what I've already done is I've already increased my font size, but you can tweak the font size, local echo. We've even got a little boss mode here you can turn on to take away some of the graphics. It's up to you. So, since I'm making a new character, I need to type new. It's going to go over some name rules. Don't use a name from a book or a movie, dictionary words, or modern names, those kind of things. So I'm going to agree to that rule. And then I'm going to choose a name. Just something kind of basic. And I'm going to choose a really bad password here because everybody's watching. And I'll change it later. It's going to be mail. My email in, so in case I lose my password. And my real name, so I can kind of verify, yeah, this is my character. And once I'm in the game, it asks me if I want color on. I assume almost everybody will. And bam, here I am in the game. The first thing it's going to do is tell me to type list, which will show me the races you can choose from, the guilds, which are your classes, their statistical requirements, unallowed races, and where they're located. The guilds that are located in Sable is a little bit easier because you start off in Sable, but it's not that hard to get to Thrace. You just head west out of Sable and get on a boat. That's it. Some guilds, like the Bards, have special rules for joining, and you'll want to investigate those. You also may want to kind of avoid those at first. Even though there's one for Thief, it's actually basically just don't talk about Fight Club while you're joining Thief. The basic guilds, Cleric, Fighter, Mage, Scion, Sorcerer, Thief, Warrior, those are all pretty simple, pretty straightforward to join. And you can even be a tradesman. That's a full-time crafter. And for some people, that's going to be what they're going to want to jump right into. But I'm going to stick to a combat class today to show you guys some basic mechanics. So let's see again. Let's type look or L, and it's going to say to move on. I type approve me. Have I read the name rules? Yes. Am I 18 years old or older? Yes. This is a role-playing game? Yes. Now it's going to ask me to briefly describe my character concept. This doesn't have to be a novel here. A couple of sentences, maybe a paragraph or two, whatever you feel comfortable with is fine. The staff just wants to know that you put some thought behind your character. This isn't anything huge. So I'm going to say that my Rathgar was an extremely bright child from a small village. The elders taught him everything they could, but soon realized he needed the guidance of much more experienced scholars. Thus, he left home and ventured to Sable City. Alright, kind of cliche, nothing fancy, but, you know, we're just trying to do a video here. So I'm going to send that in, and I'm going to wait for the staff to review it. The review process is usually really quick. Always have people looking at the applications, and as we see, I'm already approved. And no, I have not warned the staff who I am. So that's just a normal speed. So I'm going to be a human just for simplicity's sake. It's going to ask me where I heard about the game. Maybe it's because I saw a video about Threshold made by Michael Hartman. In game, my persona is Aristotle. So I'm done. Now the next section is going to show me about guilds again, and let me choose stats. There are two methods of creation. You can begin for the full, where I get to customize every stat point, or the simple, where I just pick the guild I want to join and it makes sure I have the right stats. As you can see right now, I have pretty basic stats. You should know that stats in Threshold are really mainly for roleplay. They have very, very little impact on the actual game. What affects the game really are your skills and your levels, and really primarily your skills and your guild level. So I'm going to choose the simple method, and I'm going to choose 3 and say I know which guild I'm interested in, and I'm going to tell it Mage. Alright. Now as it notes, I'm not in that guild yet. It's just telling me that's what I'm heading towards. So now I'm going to customize my features, it says. Begin. What color are your character's eyes? I'm not going to put a whole lot of thought into this here because I want to let you guys pick whatever you want. So I'm just going to give my character dark brown eyes and say yes, I'll stick with that. It's going to ask me for hair. I'm going to say chestnut brown hair. I could put that in tons more detail if I wanted, but I'm not going to. It's going to ask me if I want an additional feature. This could be something distinctive. It could be a wart on your nose. It could be a lot of freckles. Anything you really want, you can add as another feature. Now, it won't let you add ridiculous things, nor should you add ridiculous things like wings or forked tail or anything insane like that. Forked tongue, though, that would probably be okay. I'm ready to move on to the next stage. Now, let's make this guy tall. And since, oops, I didn't say yes. Tall, yes. And we'll make him average mass. Yes. Now keep in mind that's average in general, not average for my height. So that means I'm probably going to end up being kind of skinny. So I'm 6'5", 132. Yeah, really skinny. That's okay though. I'm in a mage. That's all right. I could start over if I didn't like that though, but I'm going to stick with it. Now I'm going to choose my heritage. That's basically what I was like growing up. My choices are nomad, urchin, scholar, noble, merchant, gypsy, and farmer. Now we've already talked about this. My guy is a scholar. Yes. Now as you kind of move along, you know, all these steps make you think about your character a little bit more. And now it tells me to type help rules, and it's going to go over rules about all kinds of little things. PK, bug abuse, sharing your password, any kind of stuff like that. I've already read all the rules, of course, so I'm going to type done. You should probably read them all, though, when you get here. Do I agree to follow them? Of course I do. And I'm in the game. Now, one of the first things to do that is not always obvious to everyone, but is really helpful. Actually, hold on a second. As you can see, there's people welcoming me. But sometimes it's a little hard to see these channels. They blend in. So I'm going to show you the settings command, help settings. Now, a whole bunch of different settings you can change, like the length of a page, how much combat spam you get. But the big one really is the colors. Settings, colors. I'm going to change that heritage channel to this little orangey brown color. I'm going to type settings colors again, change my says to a color so I can see people talking more easily, and I'm going to change tells as well. Tells are like private direct messages. Now I'm going to type look. Now right now this is the only one I see. A lot of the time there'll be a lot of people here in the Adventurers Guild. If you see the actual name, it's either an NPC or a player who's famous, like a hegemon or something. And that's an example of your character knowing something that you, the player, do not. So that's something important to note. Otherwise, you might see a male gnome with a long beard and white hair or something like that. And that's a player that you've not been introduced to, that you don't know. When you role play with other characters, sometimes after a little bit of role play, they might introduce casually to you by saying, hi, my name is, whoever. And then you might introduce casually back to them. And when you do that, then you can recognize each other from that point forward in a room. And if you role play more and get to know each other better, you might introduce fully to each other, at which point you can also send tells to each other, which is kind of like a direct mental link. So those are two important role play tools that you should definitely take seriously. So there's nobody here, and it's always nice to have some gear, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these. And I'm going to wield the staff and wear the robe. Now let me show you something that a lot of people don't know about right off the bat. I'm going to go up to the STA area. The STA is the group that helps new players. They run events. They're really an amazing group of people that really help make Threshold such an awesome community. I can't say enough good things about the members of the STA. Total volunteer organization. They're just awesome. And we're going to go west. One of the many things they do is they run a fishing league. Look at the sign. And in addition to being a competition, the fish that get caught and submitted are then distributed to new players. So I'm going to type request fish, and bam, I was given a 49-pound tuna. Wow, that's nice. So it's nice to have food. I'm going to go back east and down because food is how you heal. The primary method of healing, other than magical healing. Now another thing to do before you move on to, like, say, the Newbie Academy is to go north and then go into your heritage room. For me, that's scholar. So I'm going to go into my scholar room, and yes, this is what I was hoping. There's a lot of stuff laying around. The heritage rooms often have extra gear lying around, and sometimes people who aren't even in that heritage will come in, they'll throw stuff into these rooms, because you can actually throw items from room to room. And they'll throw things in to help out either people of their heritage or just everyone. So I'm going to get both swords. I'm going to get all the food, the tomato. I'm just going to hog stuff. I think I could use a helmet and a cloak. That would be nice. Wear this cloak. Wear this helmet. Nice. Very, very nice. I'm going to unwield the staff. Oops. Unwield staff. I'm going to see if I can dual wield swords. I'm going to wield sword, and I'm going to off wield sword too. Yes, I thought I could do that. Check my gear. Alright, so I'm dual wielding short swords. I've got a robe, I've got a cloak, I've got a wooden helmet. Not bad for someone who's only been around a few minutes. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to go south. And then I'm going to go west. That's the Newbie Academy, where I will enroll. Now, I'm going to be going fast and through a lot of these things, but when you do this, just try to pay attention to what you're doing. I'm going to continue in, and it tells me to begin my first lesson. Let's begin, and now look at that, there's a golem here. It tells me I should attack target, which in this case is a golem, so attack golem. And here we go, we're on to our first combat. Now at this point, I don't really know if I have any abilities. I do, but it hasn't told me about it yet. But I'm going to just try to win through auto-attacking, and hopefully this golem... Oh, there we go. I was successful. So we're going to bury this corpse. There's a staff on the... Oh, and a blood jewel. That's extremely lucky. I'm going to pick that up. Wow, that's great. That's a pretty rare drop. I'm going to leave that staff there since I already have one. I happen to know that the Newbie Academy items, you can't sell them for anything, so leave that lying around. See, it looks like someone else had done that too. There's a bunch lying around here. So I've gone to the next room and it's told me to begin. And now it says this time try using the Newbie spell. Well, I'm going to use this opportunity to show you two things, how to make an alias and how to make macros in here. Well, not macros, but hotkeys. So I'm going to take the hotkey. I'm going to click this first one, use the fire icon, make it do the Newbie spell, which it said the syntax was Newbie. It says I can also set a button for it, so I'm going to do select. I'm going to hit F1 and OK. And OK. So now, let's see if I type it right now, I've got no target. Now I'm going to also make an in-game alias. I'm going to type alias NN space newbie $***. The $** part just means I'm going to supply my target later at any time. Now, I wouldn't want to alias N to Newbie because then going north would be all messed up. So be careful when you make aliases. You can type alias to see your list of aliases. It's recommended that you don't have more than 20, 25, 30 in-game aliases, just to keep things going smoothly. But in-game aliases can be really good because then no matter what computer you play on, the aliases will work. Whereas this is only going to be on whatever computer you're playing. So I'm going to go ahead and start combat by typing my alias NN Gollum. And hopefully it will kick in here pretty soon. Or I've made a mistake in casting my spell. There we go. There we go, much better. Newbie. And we're getting pretty low health here, so let's hope that should do it right there, I hope. Whoa, that was close. Look at that, 3 hit points. Very close. Bury that corpse. Go ahead and make another alias here too. Bury corpse, alias BC, bury corpse, $**. And the reason I want to have a feature modifier is because you can bury corpses good, you can bury them evil, and we'll mess around with that later. So I've finished that part, so I will continue onward. And now it's telling me, it's preparing me for learning about your senses, help senses. Senses are very important in Threshold. In addition to looking, you can listen, you can smell, taste, touch, feel, all kinds of different things. So I'm going to continue. And you go into this country hillside room. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, but when you get to this room, definitely use all your senses, look at things, smell things, taste things, touch things. Very important. So once you're done experimenting with your senses here, you should continue on. And then it says you're ready to graduate. It gives you a couple of help files that are really handy. Newbie, start, newbie areas, commands list. Really good help files to check out. And it also tells you to read help gear to learn about gear and help storage to learn about storage. Storage is very important because when you log off, you drop everything you're carrying. It's kind of a pretty high realism situation where you need to store the things you want to save. Very important. And I should mention that the reason that happens also is gear is not vitally important in this game. Now, I know that in the current era, the time of this video is 2012, gear is everything in most RPGs. But that's not the case in Threshold. Gear is maybe 10-15% of your character's power. It's mostly about your abilities, your skills, and really, to a huge extent, the player's skill. So that's the way things work here. So losing gear and stuff is not really a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and graduate. And I'm going to scroll up because I missed it. Oh, nice. I got 1584 out of a possible 1600 points. So I got a lot of XP. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Wealth. I've already got some slag. That's the lowest currency. And it says I can go out. So I can already go north and train in my scholar room. So I'm going to train. I think I can probably train again. Yes, I can train twice. Now I'm going to type level. Oh, I can train again. Oh, I don't have the money for it. Bummer. So let's see. I will go out and back to the map machine room. Remember that document I read that said help newbie areas. And it said that one of the first areas is the Sable Farm, 9 south and 2 west from the center of town. And then I'm going to remember that my map... Oh, excuse me. I forgot to vend a map here. Sorry about that, skipping over things. The map machine where you first entered. You type vend to get a map. I'm going to look at the map and see that I'm in the Adventurers Guild here. Center of town is here. I can also type area. And that'll show me some things too. I go south and type area. I've moved here. I go east and type area. I've moved here. Now the area command only works in Sable City and Thrace City, so you don't want to get too used to it. Mostly in this game, you'll want to, either memorize your locations and movements, or pull out some graph paper or something like that, which is kind of old school, but it really does make you feel the space and the distance in the game. So it was 9 south. Now as you're walking along, you might want to kind of pay closer attention than I am. But I went 9 south, and I'm going to go 2 west until I have found the farm, the Newbie farm. Now there's a door leading west that goes in. You see some ASCII graphics here. We don't use very much ASCII graphics in the game, but you'll find it occasionally. If you aren't using a fixed width font, it's going to look kind of weird. And I'm just going to start exploring. I'm not going to go inside the house right now because that's heavily related to a quest, and I'll let you guys do that on your own. So I'll go north and then west and then north again, and I find some chicks. And I'm like, well, that shouldn't be too difficult, so I'm going to start a fight with the chick. A little casting time, and then there we go. Bam. I'm going to go ahead and click my hotkey here. Now, if I remember while I'm fighting, oh, no, this one's already done. I've already been victorious. Now I'm going to show you some of those variations I told you about. Let's see. I'm going to bury corpse. Good. Oh, that's nice. I buried with reverence and honor. Now, check my HP and my little bars here. I'm doing pretty well. I'm not too beat up, so I'm going to go ahead and start another combat. Now, since I beat it up pretty hard last time, I'm only going to use that one casting of my newbie spell and see if I can get by the rest of the way on my auto attack. Alright, that worked out pretty well. Let's bury evil this time. Alright, I mutilated and defiled it. Well, that's a little unpleasant. But you can do things however you want. It's kind of the part of the role play. Oh, and I'm going to get all. I'll pick up all those coins. Oh, good, over 130. So now I've got enough XP and slag, so that's great. So we're doing pretty well here. I'm going to go ahead and take out this last chick. And since I probably want to go back and train after this, I'm going to go ahead and blast through my spell points. Oh, and I got a crit there too. That's nice. And that's that. Now, early on, especially heritage levels, you're probably going to find yourself running back to town more often to train and to do things like that. Obviously, I'm doing this really quickly. But later on, you'll be out in the wilderness longer. You'll be deep in dungeons and good stuff like that. Now, I think again, yeah, I'm not quite. Once again, I have enough XP, but I don't quite have enough money, so that's a bummer. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use the magic of like a cooking show, and I'm going to fast forward ahead to where. Let's see, what am I right now? I'm Heritage level 4. I'm going to fast forward ahead to Heritage level 10, and then I will show you how to join a guild. So I will rejoin you shortly. Alright, now I have been back to the farm a few times. I've killed some chickens, I've killed some skeletons. Some of the combats were really tough and I had to eat food. But I've now made it to player level 1. When I type train, I can't train anymore. Basically, heritage levels are your early starting. Player levels are advanced in the Adventurers Guild. Guild levels in your guild. Basically, your level is kind of just split into player level and guild level. You advance player level first, then guild level. So, player level 1, then guild level 1, then 2-1, then 2-2, then 3-2, then 3-3, that kind of thing. You get your powers from guild levels. You can train skills based on your player level. And you get a lot of your hit points and spell points from player levels, but you get some from both. So, I had planned this character to be a mage. I'm going to go back to the map machine. Fortunately for me, the mage's guild is really close. It's actually right here, or I can read my map. I see library/mage guild. So it's not going to be that difficult for me to get to the Mage Guild. You'll see a lot of this in town. These are player houses. Player housing is a huge part of the game, usually for higher level folks that wealthier and everything. But they're really cool. Some of the houses in the game are amazing because the customization is huge. In fact, I accidentally just walked into someone's house, so maybe I better pay attention. So I cut through the library. Now the library itself is cool too. There's all kinds of books and things you can read. A lot of them player written. Very cool. So now I am at the entrance of the Mages Guild. I can ask about it or I can just join. So I'm just going to join. And bam, there I am. And now I can type Mage. Whenever you join a guild, you can usually type the name of your guild. See some people that are online, their little custom title, and all that kind of stuff. And since I've joined, there's people welcoming me. So, like I said, there's people welcoming you, and that's really cool. Check your inventory now. Oh, I've got a tome of spells. Pretty cool. A tome tells me about M spell, which is a really good command that shows me my spells. And here they are. They're already talking about wanting to give me a tour. That's really cool. So I've learned some new spells. I've got Mage Light, Magic Missile. I can research spells, some special emotes. Pretty cool stuff. I'll go ahead and go up and oh, it tells me I need to select my ethos. I can basically be good, neutral, evil. Again, that is a total roleplay thing, and it can change over time. So I'm going to be real basic and just take neutral. And now I can go ahead in. Magus is my main trainer, so I can look at the sign here. He can train my skills, he can train my guild levels, all kinds of good stuff. I can go inside, west. Look at the treasury box. This is somewhere that people can deposit coin. Most guilds have one of these when the guild has a fundraising project, either to expand the guild or do something cool like that. Some big roleplay event. Go further west. The spatial rip is a place where you can store items. As you can see, there's a lot of cool stuff stored in here. Be very careful how you use the stored items that are shared in the guild, because you could get in trouble if you borrow things and lose them by dying. So, talk to your guild mates, find out what the policies are within the guild. Managing item resources within guilds, religions, is a really big part of the game. It's a really big part of roleplay. It's another reason why we have limited storage, so that you have to lean on your different groups more for gear. That's a very important thing that contributes heavily to roleplay. So I'm not going to borrow anything for right now. Just keep looking around, and got a cool library in here. There's a lot of most guilds have some neat stuff worth checking out. Oh, and I can't go up because I don't have enough rank, so. Also, something good to keep in mind, any channel, you can usually type last, that channel's name, like last mage, and see things that were recently said, so. I just realized I had not responded back. And most channels, you can type the name of the channel, a semicolon, and an emote to emote on that channel. Some channels don't allow emotes. So I smiled, thanked everyone. Your guildmates are often going to be a really important source of help, important source of information. They're your in-character support. The heritage is really for your out-of-character support. And I was also going to show you the tavern, so I'm going to go ahead and tell my guildmaster that I'm doing that, and she'll probably be fine with that. So I'm going to go read my map and see I'm here. Green Griffin Tavern's here. So I can go up and around or down and around or whatever. And I'm carrying a lot of slag, so I think I might open a bank account too, because there are thieves running about. So I am back on the main street. I'll go north. telling me Glamis Crossroad is, that's this road. So I'm going to go North Road, keep cutting through. Mercantile March. Mercantile March. See, Mercantile March is here. So that's where a lot of the businesses are. Now I'll go north until I get to the bank. Oh, bank's closed at the moment. Bummer. At the time is 21st toll, so it's a little while until the next banking day. Now, full day in Threshold is about 2 hours, so wouldn't have to wait too long, but it's long enough that I probably shouldn't hang out right here. So I will go back to my original plan, which was to visit the Green Griffin Tavern. But as I saw, I need to cut over to Via Vendeur. Take the Glamis Crossroad. Now I'm on Via Vendeur. Now if I wanted to go in here to the Vendeur des Vêtements Vivants, I can make all kinds of cool custom clothing. But I'm not that rich yet, so I'm not going to do that. Now I'm going to enter the tavern. And whoa, this guy knows who I am and everything and all this stuff. Ooh, he tells me I shouldn't be wielding weapons, so I'm going to unwield my sword and my other sword. Make sure they're unwielded. I'm going to apologize in Miracle. Now I can say right now that a Miracle is an NPC, but people roleplay with the NPCs too, so it's a good idea to do that. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of people in here hanging out. Maybe they're resting or just eating or drinking or what kind of thing. And now you can start role-playing with people and really doing whatever you want. The Green Griffin Tavern is a big-time hangout place. You can type menu. You can buy food here. Really important place to buy food. You can buy drinks here. It's a big-time hangout. And I won't make you watch me talking with these people, but inside here there's other cool things in the tavern. There's a gaming area with all kinds of little mini games. There are tables where you can hang out with people privately. The tavern is pretty cool. Now it's important to notice that I saw that Austria enters, and I see that I can see her name. So before thinking that you recognize someone, see if they're in the room. Because just because you got the entering message doesn't necessarily mean they're famous. Now Austria is famous, and she just gave me some ale. So I will thank her. And since she's my guild master, I will salute her as well. Let's check out this ale. It says type draught. Excellent. So I'm having not a bad start. I'm having a tankard of ale with my guild master. Not a bad beginning to my career here. Oh, interesting. It looks like she's getting some things to help me out. Really cool. So while I'm hanging out, I'll explain a few other things you might want to know. Like, as I mentioned, help newbie areas. It's going to show me a lot of good areas to go to when I'm exploring. Different level ranges. Oh, she's asked me what I'm swinging around. I've been using 2 short swords. And then roleplay this is a good place to get started. You can visit the temples, help religions. Help religion, my mistake. Tells you a little bit about religion. Help deities is a list of deities. Religions are a really big part of the game, so visiting temples, talking to the followers is a big way to get into the game. But be careful with that, because the religions are they challenge each other, so you could make enemies if you choose your allegiance too quickly or too extremely. So be very cautious as you pursue religion. Start off really leaning on your guild. They're going to be your first source of help in character and getting you into the role play. Or for some races, the other members of your race, like help races. The Taxul are a new race, so their culture is really evolving. The cat folk have a really rich culture. So do the dryads, and they're very different. And sometimes the race will be a big thing. In fact, while I'm saying that, why don't I type race? These are my racial abilities. As a human, I can digest food faster. I can train a skill point for free every level. Different races have different abilities. I think for this video, I've pretty much covered the most important stuff. It's already getting a little bit long, and I wanted this to be shorter than the long tutorial. We have a longer one that's about 15-20 minutes longer you might want to check out. But this really covers all the basics, and hopefully it wasn't too boring. You can always get more information on our forums. That's forums.frogdice.com. I'll put a link in the description. Our Facebook page, facebook.com/thresholdrpg. And our main website, which is frogdice.com, which points to all of our games. So I know that Threshold can be a little intimidating at first, learning the commands, learning your way around, adjusting to the roleplay, but it is very, very rewarding. We have countless players that have been playing for 5, 10, even 15 years, and the community is just amazing. Once you become a part of it, you will be very gratified that you invested the time, the energy, and the effort to explore your creativity and your imagination, and in general you'll just have a blast. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you'll play Threshold, and I will see you online.